right, so the next thing I want to do is actually go into WordPress stats and look around a little bit. So if you're in front of your computer as you're watching this, maybe hit pause and go into your WordPress stats, right? So go into WordPress, look at the stats menu bar, and I'm going to click through each of the boxes you're going to see. And you're going to see the first thing is views and visitors, right? So you want to get a sense of how many people are being attracted by your content. Who's coming to your page and what are they doing? So I pay a close attention to this. I also pay close attention to not just what days or weeks or months are having the most visitors, but when they're having the most visitors, right? So what are the days that are my peak days and what are the times of the month that are my peak times of the month? I've got about 6 years of data here, so I've got quite a bit to look back on to see how things trend. And what I really want to make sure is that I know that I put my best stuff out when I have my audience in front of me, when I'm really trying to get my message to the audience at the optimal times, right? So for that really means for me midweek, and that means during the middle of the day is when I'm going to see most of my traffic come to my site. So I really focus in on that. And the WordPress views and visitors allows me to get a sense of what that is. And I can also compare month to month, year over year, and seeing how I'm trending. Like for example, the days that I know that I have the most visitors are generally days that we have a job posting on the site, right? We're putting out there a job posting, we're hiring somebody, that generates a lot of traffic. Another thing that generates a lot of traffic is when I'm talking about an event, a big event with a lot of different people that may be coming through social media that get pushed to the WordPress site as an announcement or a press release about that event is coming. These are just some of the things that tend to draw most of the traffic, and I see that through views and visitors. The next cool thing I look at is called the views by country. So depending on which business I'm looking at, I really want to know where my traffic is coming from geographically, right? So I do have a business that's predominantly based in the Philippines for a Philippines audience. Then I have another business that's predominantly for a US audience. So I want to make sure that I'm getting the right followers, the right people coming to my site to read my blog, to follow my articles, coming from those countries. So I can see that, right? For my company in the Philippines, DMAPH, I can see that is by far and away my biggest source of traffic, which is great because that's what I want to be able to see. So country view basically is a really powerful thing. The next box that I could click on is called referrers. It tells you where people are coming to your site from. So for example, my WordPress site is a focal point for a lot of my writings, a lot of my articles that I write, blog posts that I write, things that I'm sharing out there on social media. And so I get a lot of traffic that comes from search engines. For example, for my Philippines company, which specializes in analytics training in the Philippines, you'll note that if you go to Google and you type in analytics training Philippines, I should come to the top, and I do, right? So I get a lot of search engine traffic. I also get a pretty good amount coming from Facebook and LinkedIn, and I do have VAs that publish my articles or share my articles on LinkedIn, as well as whenever I publish something on WordPress, it pushes content out automatically to Facebook and to LinkedIn. So I'm able to use those auto-publishing tools. And I can also time the publishing so it's consistent. It goes out at a routine time every day. I've talked before about how important it is to have a content calendar where people get used to seeing certain things from you certain times of the days. And using the referrers tab can allow you to really get a sense of who's coming to your page as far as what vehicle they're using to get there. I get some from Twitter, I get some from other apps like Meetup and Eventbrite, but most of my traffic is coming off a search engine for my website, which is what I want to see. The next stats tab that I look at is posts and pages, right? So it gives you a breakdown of what are your most clicked pages, right? Your most liked posts, right? So for me, the most common places people land is my landing page, which is my home page. So that gets by far and away the most number of clicks, right? Especially if I have an article that is the current article I've published, the current post, blog post, PR, press release, whatever it may be, that will pop up on the homepage. So most of the views, when people click on it, bring them to the homepage. After that, I get a lot of clicks off into some of the content that we do as far as training, a lot on the about, a lot about me and other speakers that work under my umbrella. So you can see that when you're looking at posts and pages, you'll get a sense of what people are looking at. You'll also see which articles or posts are kind of surprises. Like I wrote an article a few years ago on how analytics can help a sari store. A sari store is like a small mom and pop general store in the Philippines. And that article went viral, and I still get a significant amount of traffic to that article when people are out there talking about analytics in the Philippines. So you never quite know what's going to be popular unless you look at this tab. The next tab I'll look at is the search engine terms, right? And the search engine terms help you figure out what people are typing in search engines that drive them to you, right? So for me, by far and away, anything with the word analyst is towards the top of my page for this one, because this company is all about training people to be analysts. Another site that I have, it's virtual staff, right? So virtual is the most common word. So you just really want to get a sense to make sure that what people are finding you for is what they should be. And a lot of this has to do with the SEO optimization, which I'll talk about in a different video. But understanding the stats tab, looking at search engine terms, you get a better sense of what you should be using as your hashtags, your keywords, your SEO, right? The next one that I look at is called clicks, right? And this just tells you how many clicks you've had on certain things related to your site. So if you embed a lot of links, if you're writing articles that go off to other places, if you're embedding YouTube or Eventbrite or Facebook, those links off your site will pop up in the clicks tab, right? So you're going to see a lot of things that you're deriving traffic to. And again, you want to have them go places where you want them to go. Because if they're leaving your site, then you're hoping that they're going somewhere where they're going to still do business with you, where they're still going to be able to capture a lead or get some feedback or even make a sale. So you want to make sure that you're getting a good understanding of your click rate. The other thing that I look at on the WordPress stats is authors. I'm not the only one who publishes on my site, right? I do a lot of guest publishing. I have interns who part of their internship is to always write an article or two for the site. My marketing assistants do things. My partner occasionally does some things that she posts. So I have other authors. So I like to see what other authors are doing as well. I still get the majority of the buzz on the page because I'm the one doing most of the writing. But you can start seeing that there's certain people that are writing things that can get more interest. It's really cool stuff when you look at that. So basically, those are the stat tabs that I look at on WordPress. So what I want you to do now really is think about what are the things that you could do with all this information. Knowing where people are when they like your page, where people are coming from as far as external sources, where they're finding themselves on your site, what pages they're clicking on, and then where are they going to when they leave your page. When you think about all that stuff out there, you want to get a sense of what are the things that you're not doing or not understanding or not capturing, but you wish you could. So you want to write a list down of all the questions and all the things that you're wondering about that you can start answering those questions through understanding better the stats, right? And then you want to think about what are the things that you want to be able to do yourself versus what you want to have a virtual assistant do. I mentioned before that a lot of my posting on my site is done by a VA, right? So having a VA be the one that does most of the content manipulation, analyzes the stats, gives the site a daily touch, is somebody that I delegate that to, right? So being able to constantly keep things out there for social media, publishing on your content calendar, all these things are great, but you want to have somebody doing that for you. So think about what you want to delegate to your VA. And you want to build a system, right? Not just with WordPress, but any of your social media sites, websites, whatever you're doing that has the ability to capture data, that has analytics, like this WordPress stats tab. You want to have somebody being able to take that data and help drive strategy. You should be aware of it at a high level, but ideally you have somebody in your team that can roll up all the data across social media. You can take things like these WordPress stats. You can take those in Facebook business page stats and YouTube channel stats and Twitter stats, and you can get a much better sense of what's really driving your business interest. What's driving engagement? What are people liking? It may vary from platform to platform, but you're definitely going to start seeing some patterns. So one of the things that I encourage you to do, especially if you hire a virtual assistant with me, is to have them focus some time on reporting, right? You want them to do analysis and reporting of all your social media traffic using all these insights and stats tabs that are available for free across social media. So I strongly encourage you to do that. Okay, so that's all I have for you today. I want to really encourage you to optimize your use of WordPress by using the stats, right? These stats are free tools that'll let you have a much better sense of how you're growing, acquiring, engaging your audience. So if you want to get a virtual assistant to help you do that, feel free to reach out to us. You can drop a comment here and give us an idea of how to get a hold of you, as well as what kind of things you want your VA to do when it comes to WordPress. Or you can go to our website, sonicva.com. It's SONICVA.com, VA for virtual assistant. And we will help you get started so you can take your WordPress to the whole next level. Thanks again for your time, and have a wonderful day.